How about that performance yesterday afternoon? You got a great performance from Framber Valdez on Tuesday night where he goes 8 innings, 12 strikeouts. Javier just had his first ace caliber performance of the year. Struck out the side in the first inning, including Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, who were a combined 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts against Christian. He had 6 innings pitched. He struck out 11, allowing just 3 hits, walking just 1, and the only 2 earned runs came after Hunter Renfroe hit a hanging slider into outer space. What the hell's up with Hunter Renfroe? 10 home runs? How is that happening? Whatever. It's fine. 24 whiffs on 46 Angels swings as your beloved Houston Astros took 2 of 3 from the L.A. Angels, despite Ryan Presley trying to impersonate Rafael Montero in the 9th inning. I almost confused the two. It got a little dicey at the end, but Presley was just doing a bit. So a little bit ago, I told you that I think the Astros are going to be in first place by the end of the month. And I nerded out last night. Bear with me. Should I start talking with like a nerd? Should I get out an abacus? Is that what those are called?
Yeah.
Get out one of those. Do a little math. Old school math. New school math with a TI-83.
TI-83 Plus, the one with games on it or whatever.
Yeah, those games were fantastic. There was a helicopter game before, Sean, your day, where you could bring smartphones into school. Like, that's all we had. That's all we had at school was the TI-83. And if we didn't have that, all we could do is basically put in the numbers 80085.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. Like that's what we did for entertainment before all these newfangled kids got all their technology. But the Astros just wrapped up a brutal month of baseball. They had 30 games, 18 on the road. All but 3 of the teams they played over that 30-game stretch are above 500. Those 3 teams that are below 500 are only a combined 5 games under 500. And on average, if you total all 10 of the teams that the Astros played, the Twins, Pirates, Rangers, Blue Jays, Braves, Rays, Phillies, Giants, Mariners, and Angels, they have a winning percentage of 56.6%. Over 162 games, that's around 92 wins. So they just played a month against an average of teams that are on pace for 92 wins. And they went 16-14 over the month. It's not what you're looking for, right? You would like more than that, but it's not bad considering all of the injuries that they are dealing with. Luis Garcia is going to be out for a while. We don't even know if he'll be back next year. Jose Urquidy, we're hoping he's back at the All-Star break. We have no idea what's going on with Lance McCullers. Chas McCormick seemed to have a setback. Jose Abreu is dealing something, but won't tell Dusty Baker what it is. Michael Brantley is getting sent back for evaluation. Jose Altuve hasn't played yet. Mauricio Dubon has a hamstring injury. I mean, they're dealing with a lot. I think Cesar Salazar was the only non-injured Astro that could have been played yesterday. And yet they took 2 of 3. So this is a glass half full look at the beginning of this Astros season. Obviously, you're disappointed that they're 19-18 and are only in 3rd place. But I still believe that by the end of the month, they'll be back in 1st. Because coming up, they're playing some poop. It's a cupcake buffet on deck. White Sox stink. Cubs stink. 2 series against the A's and the Milwaukee Brewers, who have lost 8 of their last 10, but are still plus 500. I think they'll be first in the American League West by the end of the month. Valdez is clearly, Framber Valdez, the Astros' more consistent pitcher, but Christian Javier, I think, has the best stuff. And I've been waiting, now that he's in this expanded starter role and he's the definitive number 2 starter, as opposed to sort of just getting worked into the rotation as last year progressed to the point where all of a sudden you're looking at him and you're like, damn, look at this guy. Because if you take a look at his statistics last year, I mean, I think as far as strikeouts per 9 and walks hits per innings pitched, he was close to the top in baseball in both of those stats. He just didn't qualify by pitching enough innings to get there. The stuff that he throws is electric. And yeah, he hung that slider, and Hunter Renfroe hit that home run. I was about to say Hunter Pants hit that home run. How does he have 10 home runs? I'm sorry. I just can't get over the fact that Hunter Renfroe leads the Angels with 10 home runs. Fake news. But we've known that Javier is capable of this, and now he's just got to do this more. The unfortunate reality for the Astros is that you're going to have to expect Framber and Javier to do that a lot. Javier needs to pitch 6 innings every single time he's out there. And it's one of the more frustrating things about him is that he generally doesn't go past 6. Framber can give you 8, and Framber gives you a very efficient 8 with 99 pitches to get through 8 and striking out 12 along the way against the Angels on Tuesday night. Again, that was an awesome performance. This Angels lineup's pretty good. There's a reason the Angels are in second place in the AL West, at least to this point. Part of it has to do with Hunter bleeping Renfroe having 10 home runs, but you're going to need those two guys to do that a lot. And I don't know what a fair expectation is for the amount of times that they have outings of that caliber, but that's what you lost in Justin Verlander. You lost the ability to regularly do that. Because Verlander, even if he does stink in the postseason, Verlander is going to take a lot of workload off of your bullpen. And remember last year, one of the reasons the Astros pitching staff was so good, you could argue it was because of the way that Dusty Baker managed that staff during the regular season. A lot of 6-man rotations and a lot of starters who could take the Astros deep into games. Now you're at a point where you're like, Jesus, what are we doing? Where the hell is Lance McCullers? Where is Lance? When's he going to be back? This injury situation for the Houston Astros, it is funny, but bad. It's bad. I mean, I suppose clarity would make it seem even worse. The ambiguity of every single Astro injury right now does lead you to think, well, maybe it'll get better if you're really optimistic, if you're a glass half full kind of guy. We are a glass half full Astro show, I think. More often than not, they have gotten things done, even in situations where you didn't expect it. But Michael Brantley's going back to Houston for testing / further evaluation. You hear that, like, how do you feel? Good. Luis Garcia was getting a second opinion from a doctor. Next thing you know, he needs Tommy John surgery. And this Brantley contract, maybe even more than the Montero contract and the Abreu contract, frustrates me. You signed a guy who was injured. And it was a $12 million for 1 year signing. And you're looking at this guy clearly like someone who's going to be relied on for depth. And I saw a clip. I forgot to put it in our show rundown, but it's Jeff Bagwell before the start of the year talking about the signing of Brantley. And he expected Brantley to be ready to go by day one. And, you know, I'm not a learned doctor. I am from the house of a learned doctor, but to go back in time to that moment, why would he have projected that Brantley would be back by the start of the year? Why? It's just a weird thing to project. And I got to give Dusty Baker a lot of credit for always making quotes about injuries as entertaining as he does. We don't want to rush him, said Dusty about Michael Brantley. Like we've always said, the timetable doesn't always match your body table. Let's pause for a moment. Body table. That's a new one. Dusty said he hopes he'll be able to rejoin the team in Chicago because that's where the Astros play this weekend after they get yet another Thursday off because they have never played a Thursday ever, which is an interesting dynamic. How about Jose Abreu, who I just mentioned a moment ago? Dusty thinks Jose Abreu is hurt. Unfortunately, Jose Abreu won't say where. Oh my God. The injury news with this team is just something else. And I don't think that they're ever going to put a trainer in front of a microphone and have him explain what the hell's going on. But this is so on brand. Dusty Baker always either thinks He'll think a player's injured, and he won't know what body part is injured, and he's not even 100% sure if they're injured. Anyway, more Astros injury news. Chas McCormick's back is sore. And this is what I love the most. The rehab assignments for Brantley and McCormick may have led to overdoing things.
Overtrained athlete syndrome.
Yeah, Brian Cushing would know. Look, Brian Cushing works for the Texans. They're in the offseason. Where's Brian Cushing? That might help out a little bit. We got more injury updates. Mauricio Dubon is dealing with a hamstring. Here's the Dusty update. He was probably unavailable yesterday. Also, the injury isn't considered serious.